Hello, my name is Lewis and welcome to Gathering the Magic. Today we're looking at a $60 budget Light-Paws Emperor's Voice deck tech. From the upcoming Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, this creature says whenever an aura ETBs under your control, if you cast it you can search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura and with a different name than each aura you control. Put that aura onto the field attached to Light-Paws. This deck is all about playing those aura-loving cards, playing all of the dozens of auras at your disposal to get onto Light-Paws, outvalue and smash through your opponents for the win. Now, let's get straight into the budget deck tech. As always, we're starting off this budget brew with all of that tasty ramp. First on up is Gold Mirror to tap for a Plains, and Marble Diamond that ETB's tapped but can later tap for that white mana. There's Commander Sphere and Mind Stone to tap for a Plains and colourless, with them both being able to be sacrificed to draw a card. There's Arcane Signet to tap for some more Plains action, and Thought Vessel to tap for a colourless and give you that always lovely no maximum hand size. We've got Nyx Lotus to tap and add mana equal to your devotion to white, always devilishly disgusting in those mono-coloured decks. And finally, we have Soul Ring, because Soul Ring. Before we get into those aura-loving creatures, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for all things MTG. Subscribing is completely free to do, it helps our channel grow and grow as we head towards 2,000 subscribers. As we just said, now we're looking at all of those aura-loving creatures. First up we have Danitha Capuchin Paragon with First Strike Vigilance, Lifelink and aura spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And Hero of Iroas that also makes aura spells cost 1 less to cast. Also getting you a +1/+1 counter on it whenever you cast a spell that targets it. There's Starnheim Courser and Transcendent Envoy, two flying creatures that both make your aura spells cost 1 less to cast. You love to see it. We have Starfield Mystic to cheapen those enchantments by 1, and when an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And Sigil of the Empty Throne that says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a 4/4 flying angel token. There's Ajani's Chosen that says whenever an enchantment ETBs under your control, create a 2/2 cat token. If it's an aura, you may attach it to the token. An Archon of Sun's Grace that says whenever an enchantment ETBs under your control, create a 2/2 Flying Pegasus. We have Core Spirit Dancer that gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it and draws you a card whenever an aura is cast. And Mesa Enchantress to also draw you a card whenever you cast those enchantments. Remember, with Light-Paws, whenever we play an aura, we get to then search our library and cast another aura, which will trigger these aura-loving creatures twice, which is just some prickly perfection. We've thrown in Shram Senior Edificer to draw a card when we cast those auras, and Dawnheart Geist to gain us life every time we cast those enchantments. There's Auramancer and Ironclad Slayer for some ETB enchantment aura recursion. And for the final two, there's Heliod's Pilgrim that when ETBs you may search your library for an aura card, revealing it and putting it into your hand. And Moonblessed Cleric that similarly, ETBs allows you to search your library for an enchantment, revealing it but putting it on top of your library instead. Now we're moving on to all of those budget auras to pile onto Light-Paws. First on up is On Serra's Wings that says enchanted creature is legendary, gets +1/+1 and has flying, vigilance and lifelink. And here we have Budget Breaker Sigarda's Aid, a 1-drop enchantment that says you may cast aura spells as though they had flash. That could be huge. There's Eldraine Favourite All That Glitters to give enchanted creature +1/+1 for each artifact and/or enchantment you control, and Sage's Reverie that when ETBs you draw a card for each aura you control that's attached to a creature, giving enchanted creature +1/+1 for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. There's Umbra Aplenty in Mammoth to give enchanted creature +3/+3 and vigilance, and Hyena to give enchanted creature +1/+1 and first strike, both with that beloved totem armour. There's Sentinel's Eyes to give enchanted creature +1/+1 at vigilance and that extra escape option, and Spirit Mantle to give enchanted creature +1/+1 and protection from creatures. We've added Indestructibility to give enchanted creature indestructible, and Shielded by Faith that also gives enchanted creature indestructible, with a swapping attach option whenever a creature ETBs. We have Timely Ward again for some indestructible enchanting options, being able to cast as if it had flash if it targets a commander, and Rune of Sustenance, not only with that ETB card draw trigger, but also giving enchanted creature lifelink. The more auras in this deck the better, even with those high CMC ones too, as we can cast them and then cheat out another expensive aura thanks to Light-Paws. We have Angelic Gift also with that ETB card draw trigger and giving enchanted creature flying, and Chosen by Heliod, ETBing, drawing you a card and giving enchanted creature +0/+2. There's Unquestioned Authority for yet another ETB card draw trigger, this time giving enchanted creature protection from creatures, and Felidar Umbra to give enchanted creature lifelink and totem armor. We've added Griff's Boon to give enchanted creature +1/+0 and flying with that added recursion option, and Radiant Grace to give enchanted creature +1/+0, vigilant, and when it dies, you return it to the field attached to target opponent transformed as Radiant Restraints, making enchanted players' creatures ETB tapped. There's Flicker Form to flicker target creature and all its attached enchantments to the field, and Gift of Immortality that says when enchanted creature dies, return it to the field under owner's control. Return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. There's Oppressive Ways that says its controller can't attack or block unless its controller pays 3, and activated abilities of enchanted creature cost 3 more to activate. And Pariah that says all damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to enchanted creature instead. Perfect if you have one of those indestructible auras attached to the Light-Paws. No damage, no creature removal, one-stop route to victory. We have Benevolent Blessing to give enchanted creature protection from the colour of your choosing, and classic white card pacifism that says enchanted creature can't attack or block. There's Darksteel Mutation to make enchanted creature a 0/1 indestructible insect with it losing all other abilities, card and creature types. And Demotion that says enchanted creature cannot block and its activated abilities cannot be activated. For the final 3 there is Arrest, again making enchanted creature unable to attack, block or activate its abilities, and Spectral Grasp that says enchanted creature can't attack you or a planeswalker you control, or block creatures you control. Last but not least there is Prison Term, with the usual no attack, block or activate abilities play, and whenever a creature comes into play under an opponent's control, you may attach Prison Term to that creature. Before finishing up with all of those lands, we're looking at the best of the rest in this budget brew. First up is Divine Reckoning that says each player chooses a creature they control, destroying the rest with the added flashback option, and Winds of Wrath to destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted, they can't be regenerated. These are perfect for Light-Paws. Clearing the board and keeping Light-Paws on the field can be a surefire route to get that victory. We've got another budget breaker in Retether to return each aura card from the graveyard to play, and Resurgent Belief to do almost the same but with that suspend delaying mechanic option. Moving on to some white counter spells, there's Dawn Charm to counter target spell that targets you, as well as some protection and regeneration options, and Lapse of Certainty to counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, put it on top of its owner's library, instead of going in that player's graveyard. We have Mana Tithe to counter target spell unless its owner pays 1, and Rebuff the Wicked to counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. For some protection we have Sajiri Shelter to give target creature you control protection from the colour of your choice until end of turn, and Shelter to again do the same and draw you a card. Finally we have Sphere of Safety that says creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays X for each of those creatures, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Now we're rounding off this budget brew with all of those lands. Starting off with all of those basic planes, which in this budget brew we've packed a mighty 31 for Light-Paws. There's Myriad Landscape that can pay 2 tap and sack to search your library for 2 basic planes, putting them onto the field tapped, and Rogue's Passage for some unblockable action. We're going fairly Voltron heavy with Light-Paws, we may as well get in a route to make her unblockable. For the final 2 lands we have Desert of the True and Secluded Steppe to have some cycling land hybrid options. Light-Paws is an incredible new option from the soon to be released Kamigawa Neon Dynasty set, and in my opinion it's one of the most exciting commanders we've seen so far released for this set. And I really want to be packing that showcase option when I start cracking those boxes in a few weeks time. There we have it, that is the Light-Paws $60 budget deck tech. Thanks for watching and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for all things MTG. Check out our link tree in the description below for all of our social media and affiliate links. For now though, I'm all tapped out, so I'll see you in the next video.